Welcome back to Yildiz Readings 5D. Yes, we have Super Chats weekly. Next week, however, as written at the bottom of the screen, we will be hosting our live Super Chats via the members only. If you do want to become part of that, you can go to the main page on YouTube and join our membership. It is a 1-tier level and you get everything. So any additional updates or energy updates or going live within the members, should I feel the members need such, we do host the lives in there. What else do I need to say? Yes, we have the Super Chats and we are going to be covering the Twin Flame energy a little bit later in the day. So without further ado, let's get into the Super Chats. I do have the list. Giggle will be with us very shortly. And we will have a quick chat as to what's going on in the hood. So how have we been experiencing this energy this week? I'm sure many of you have multiple options. You might be thinking in your life, what do I do from here? We did have very heavy Capricorn energy, which is almost making us very nostalgic. It's like all that glistens, that was gold. It was all in the past. What do we do from here? Hi, Stella, how are you? So we can be feeling that. And I do think this is, it's sort of like we could deem this as the calm before the storm. And it's not that it's necessarily bad. It's that the changes are going to become more aggressive. They're going to become more frequent. And we could feel that we are theoretically in the eye of the storm at the moment, trying to really meditate upon what direction we're going. Each zodiac will be experiencing this differently, but we can feel the shift, and especially we can feel energetically, really this week, moving forward into the second week of February, there can be these shifting energies. There can be changes again in, it could be very tropical in weather. It could be very electrical in weather. Very good time to avoid pacifiers if possible. That particularly can be because we're going to need to hydrate a lot more. Maybe, again, always follow your own dietitian, practitioner. But what you can find is your anxiousness can be there. So being careful with caffeine, not going to extremities, trying to keep hydrated, maybe some fatty acids in the diet. That can be, salmon and things to that degree. And really taking a moment. And it was funny because I was really seeing an imbalance between masculine and feminine energy within ourselves. And we can be at the moment either in our emotions, in our feels, or we can, and really thus making us a little bit unproductive, or too much productivity and not enough being, where we could be missing things. So we need to keep a balance between the both at the moment and try and find a healthy space. We could also emotionally eat at this point or go off our food altogether. Has anyone been experiencing that? I will pull the chart up before we get into the super chats. We'll take a look at AstroSeek. Great tool if you are a beginner and you do want to pull up your birth chart and see what houses. I think the beautiful thing about AstroSeek is it does break the houses down into positions and placements. So if you really were wanting that, it's something that's really handy. At the moment, we do have the moon in the house of Aquarius, which is really bringing up those Plutonian energies. And it also can feel a little bit hidden. We could be a little bit rebellious, but definitely we can be feeling as though we're needing radical change. So let's take a look at this week in the mix. Currently, we do have Mercury in Sagittarius, and I do feel it's almost the guru energy. We have a lot to do with, it's almost like the Hermit card in Tarot, meditating upon these things. Venus in Sagittarius, we can overindulge. We also may find that we are going for sort of like cultural foods. It can be curries or spicy foods, things with spice, things with flavor, and it could be Middle Eastern food and things to that degree, Chinese food. So you might be craving something a bit more indulgent. The other thing is, like I said, it's Jupiter in nature. We could be really expanding. We could be looking at how do we expand our energy source. Some of us also, from a holistic point of view, could, with the Sagittarius placement and Venus, be hitting the gym and wanting to really fine tune that. And I feel it's more going to come in the next week where we may look at it that way. But we also could be quite traditional in our approach with certain circumstances. Pluto at the moment is at the 29-degree point, which can be causing a lot of issues. So wherever you have Capricorn in your chart, you can be theoretically having issues in those areas and intensities. Also, because we are going to be moving to the moon in the next moon, is it in Leo? Let's take a look. Yes, Leo. So it's going to be a full moon, which is the shadow sign of Aquarius. So there could be something of the past we're looking at that isn't really resonating, that we do need to change. So if it's your first house, it's the place of self. If it's your second house, it could be the way you are maybe. It could be to do with an asset. It could be to do with your income, your net worth, your self-esteem, your courage. It could even be eating. Wealth. So wanting to change something in that area. If it's in your third house, it will be something to do with a car, communication, a contract, your daily routine. It could be siblings. What else could it be? Yeah, you're eating as well. But again, how you speak, how you show up, how you articulate things, how you go into negotiations, contracts, driving, commuting, and routine. Fourth house, home, family, your physical environment, a person moving in, a person moving out. Could be to do with your children, could be to do with the mother energy. Fifth house can be creativity. Now, fifth house is a bit of a funny one because we can tend to get sort of like frequencies for overindulgence, but it also could be because you're actually investing in a creative project. It can be deeply creative. It can be social things. So you might find that for a goal that you're having in any of these areas that I've mentioned, that you want to fine tune it and transform it so that you can have a better outcome. I do feel with Pluto, it's almost like you lose something to get something. So it's taking things away to enhance it, to give it more success. And we can feel initially it's all or nothing. There can be that extremity. But it's really going to teach us some spiritual lessons between the shadow sign, maybe of what our beliefs are we're doing on these houses that I'm mentioning, which I may do a video based on Pluto and how we can directly look at it. So your fifth house can be romance. It could be, I don't really look at it as flings. I would probably look at it as your romantic style. This could be dating. It could be the things that you do on a social standard, be it single or coupled. Restaurants, dining, creativity, art, creative processes, working on YouTube, for instance. Those things also can be the fifth house. It can also be linking to, what else can we say? Fifth house, yeah, your children, something happening in their life maybe, but definitely creativity, romance, and those things changing. So the sixth house can be your daily routine. It can be the place of your undoing. It can be personal habits, maybe that you're wanting to kick. This could be diet, nutrition, the house of hidden enemies. It can also be enabling a person or making excuses for not making a big decision. And those things are going to be tweaking. Sometimes it can mean that you have too much on your plate and it's maybe affecting your success. It can be a place where we can spiritually go into avoidance and we're sort of like, I need to get this done. But energetically, we may sort of get to a space that there is too much on our plate. And I do really think this transit is wanting us to become successful in our lives. And I feel the only way is by doing the Saturn energy, which is really pulling it into bite-sized pieces so that it's manageable, so it's structured. So it's like putting the footings up on a building. Okay, do I know all the analytics of how it's all going to come together? Potentially not, but I've got to start somewhere. Giggle and I were talking about cleaning. And I think because we had the moon in Capricorn, the shadow sign's Cancer. And so it's about, in order for you to achieve things or to get back to basics, maybe there's been some external white noise during the moon in Capricorn, and you're having new beginnings. However, it sort of could be that room that you're needing to address. And it's like, oh my God, where do I start? And it's just about starting. It's like, and it can take you down memory lane because it's Capricorn, it's old, they're old things. It's like, what do I use? What do I not use? What should I get rid of? And really going through that process, but taking the first step. So I started doing that with my office. It looked like a storage room from Christmas and beyond. I have my functionality to one corner, but it's actually getting into the room that has been a problem. So it's not about a time frame it's going to be completed, rather about getting in and starting something. So many of us will be starting those frequencies and needing to address some of those things. So the sixth house can be to do with nutrition. It can down to your nutrition habits, smoking, drinking. What can I fine tune here? What's taking me away? Dealing with our stress levels, having a structured routine, also being too much of a stick in the mud. Sometimes we can get to a space that we are too regimented with the routine. We're not having enough fun. So it's about finding that happy medium within that frequency. The seventh house can be to do with your marriages, contracts, partnerships. It can be to do with, so if you had Leo in your seventh house transiting, that can be with the full moon that is coming, because we're going to get the middle area between Capricorn at the moment, leaving the Capricorn moon, moving towards the full moon in Leo, is that we're having a wrap in this area. So with the seventh house, it could be the way you're relating to each other and connections. It could be, yes, for some, it can be, look, emotionally, we're not on the same page. This has to change. It can be a negotiation. It can be a chat. I mean, it can also be the emotions, like, have you been honored inside that connection? Are you honoring your own feelings inside that connection? Is it a workplace situation? Is it a contract? Is it about going back into it and negotiating? Could it be finishing up something so that it can free you to have an open door for a particular area? So spiritually, what you will find is there will be a transformation. It is a moon energy, but it's signifying a new chapter. And again, remember, the shadow sign of Leo is Aquarius. So we're really getting prepped here for Pluto ingressing into the house of Aquarius. Your eighth house can be inheritances, tax, debt. It also can be other people's money. One example could be if you are running a business and you're trying to find a way to generate a second stream of income, a third stream of income. It could be anything to do with memberships. It could be to do with lottery wins. Again, this is not financial advice. It's those sundries. It's the things that you can get commission basis, for instance. It also can be your partner's income or your boss, you know, what they're able to give you, nest eggs. Yes, again, could it be savings accounts with the interest on them, things to that degree. It also is going to act a little bit like Pluto, because it's going to be, okay, how strong is this? It could be, again, money to do with children. What else could I say? But again, the eighth house can also be to do with, you know, what's working, what's not. How can we fine tune it? Who's the main breadwinner? Where does that money come from? Is it a government payment? Is it a working payment? Where is the savings? Have you got your insurances in check? So there can be subjects in those areas during that full moon for those of you that have Leo in your eighth house. And if you don't know, we can go through later zodiac by zodiac. Okay, so what have we got? We've got the eighth house, the ninth house. If you have the full moon in Leo falling in your ninth house, this can be a spiritual house. It can be to do with psychology, counseling, travel, can be to do with siblings, can be to do with religion and education. Subjects to do with that can be wrapping up. It could be paperwork related. It could be an emotional connection. Also on the social setting, things that you used to do. If you were going to the gym and you're finding it's really not resonating with you and you would rather be outdoors and you would rather be maybe doing that Jupiter energy more so in the outdoors. It can also be going from not going to the gym to going to the gym, but there can be a change in the ninth house. This also can be to do with litigation, or I have seen the ninth house for some be, look, I need to walk away from a situation. Could we deem it as a divorce for some? Maybe, but you know, not majorly. But there's a potential it can be to do with paperwork to do with that. If you are, you know, writing a book and you're finishing it, there could be the ninth house there. But you definitely will be looking at the Jupiter energy. So it's your ideals within your connections, the spiritual values with the community that you share. And there could be misunderstandings at the moment with the triggers for the transit. So we do need to be particularly careful, because I do really predict that this year in 2024, with the North Node, wrapping its cycle up, in the House of Aries, people are going to be extremely aggressive, and we can take grave offense and be less tolerant for BS this year, where we can be very cutting with individuals and cut things out of our life quite abruptly. If it's destined to come back at will, that particularly can be because we've been too brash with the situation and we were meant to see something through. So just be cautious with that. It's like cutting your nose off to spite your face. Be careful of that situation and be super aware that it can be quite aggressive. So the 9th house can be quite interesting. Counseling, therapy, travel, social, going into things and not finishing them can be a habit of the 9th house. It's almost like starting a project, and it becoming so big, and then you're like, wow, I've really got to tuck in and get this done, because we can run the risk of getting bored and going on to something else. So it's about seeing something through. Okay, the 10th house can be to do with your purpose, and it doesn't matter whether you're working or you're not. A lot of times, if you do have the full moon in Leo, it could be a home-based business. It might be something that you're doing with family, what the purpose of a situation is that you're going through. It also can be, where do I go from here? What will my job tag be? What are my goals? What are my goals intuitively coming up through maybe a workplace? If you are homebound, again, it doesn't have to be that you're employed. We can actually gain, finances through other avenues. So 10th house in the cliche can be employment. It can be sort of your status, your career, your goals. But what your purpose is in your day-to-day, it could be, starting up a hobby that turns into a purpose. So it does depend on where you are in your life. But a lot of that can be coming to a close. You can feel a bit funky. There also could be some frustration. You could be finalizing a project and maybe getting a pay rise, maybe going to the next level of employment, or networking out and finding something that you feel spiritually is more suitable for you. It is the moon. So this just can be an emotional compass, but it can be almost giving you an intuitive download that you're going in a particular direction, and it may not be resonating with you. So it doesn't have to be happening right away, but it can be something that you are looking at and saying, look, something's changing here. I feel this need, this desire to be going in a different direction. What now steps would I need to take with that Leo energy, which is heart, passion, creativity, really in the Leo realm of things, bringing the innocence back. We can have a lot of heart chakra collectively. We also can have triggers because it is a full moon. Things to your childhood, things to do with kings and queens can come up. It could be a passing of a king and a queen. It can be changes with leadership. So we can see that globally. Now, the 11th house can be, which I do think with Aquarius, it is technically, collectively, the 11th house. It is to do with alliances. And we can see, again, collectively, alliances. It's like reforming. Who can we work with? This is happening at a collective level. And it is the shadow sign of Leo, which is the moon that's coming up. So for those of you that have Leo in the 11th house, this can be to do with wealth, pay rises. It can act a little bit like Aquarius because it is sort of like a bit of a guru energy. So it can be managers, it could be taking on large projects. It can be to do with wealth creation and pay rises. But definitely management of some description, leadership roles, friendships as well. There can be a change happening in that area. So could you have a falling out with a friend? Only if this had been an issue for a while and you were feeling you weren't really resonating with them. The emotions can be heightened during that time. And I do see that really coming about for those of you that do have the full moon coming in the 11th house. This can also be saying, look, where I've been for too long. I want to go up a grade in pay level. I want to go up a tier level where my employment is, to get more money to take me on my goals. So there definitely can be some transitions for those of you that have Leo transiting through your 11th house. The 12th house, which I'm telling you, Pluto's and Capricorn's a society at the moment. They're going through a shit show. Is because psychologically what they're probably not understanding is They're having a death of their old life and a rebirth of the new. And so, of course, when we're very, very comfortable and we spiritually don't like change, we hold on for grim death for fear that the future will be terrible. But 9 times out of 10, it's more we are in our safe zone. And so with the 12th house, it can be to do with therapy, psychology, the house of imprisonment, fear-based frequency. I do see at the moment, whomever has the moon happening here, as well as separately, Capricorns. Capricorn and Cancer can have this trigger. Leos and Aquariuses. Why is that? Because you're shadow signs to each other. So be prepared during this month, the next 3 weeks, I'd say. There can be a shake-up. You can feel you're on totally solid ground, and it's going to feel like it's shaking you up, and you can really feel quite nauseated, triggered, anxious, frustrated. So be prepared for that. Try and get yourself grounded. If you have the spiritual forecast, you can go, look, it was told. I knew this was coming. This too is going to pass. You can join our membership as well, where we can give you that added support should you feel that you're really going to need that. So the 12th house can be, it can be our patterns, our habits. It can be the house of hidden enemies. It can be mental asylums, prisons, doing the right thing. Fair to do with a new beginning. Almost if you've had a lot of crap happen in your life, which who hasn't? Some, yes, worse than others, but who's measuring it? Our own personal experiences are very important. What you will be saying to yourself is, I don't believe there's a good future. It's just not possible. I don't believe that a new beginning can come. I'm just very negative right now. I'm very disillusioned. I'm very tired. I feel very worn out. And I think the key to this position is about you really being aware of the vibration you're in, especially if it shifts radically. It's not your permanent vibration. It could be that because you're tired, unrested, maybe haven't eaten properly, if that's even a word, that you are to a degree like a car that needs a tune-up, that needs resting, that needs clean fuel, that needs a moment. And then your viewpoint of the circumstance is going to look different. Now, if you are batting your head against a wall during that transit, the ingress in, the transition over, one thing I can say is just wait. Don't push anything. Psychologically, don't try to find a solution. Put it out to the universe and say, look, I really don't have the solution to this. Show me the way. And in time, even if it is just what you do have control over, what you'll find is if you can take each step as it goes, solutions and answers will come to you as they go, but don't think too far ahead. The other thing with the 12th house, which is really fantastic, can be really bold, creative projects that can be going rags to riches. It can be very creative, like Avatar. It's like thinking outside the box. I do think there's potentials for those of you that I mentioned with Leo transiting through the 12th house. I also do feel heart chakra and third eye is going to be pretty key for you guys. So looking after your nutrition, making sure that you're looking after your body, keeping hydrated. It could be very psychic in nature as well. And you can be having a lot of crown chakra activation. So it can be lightheaded, out-of-body experiences, very psychic in nature. You can be having shifts with your sensory perceptions. But you also can have very, like almost going from having a crappy life to a fantastic one, but it's going to happen overnight. It's going to be very quick. So hope that helps in aiding all of us moving forward. I'm going to get into the super chats and we will have a chat about what's coming through for each of you. So I may start calling these an energy update and super chats. And I can always cut it and paste it after. Because we want to get these through the algorithm ready. Oh, thanks, Google. You're a legend. What can we do without you? Oh, honest. Tracy. Okay. If you're here in the house and you have paid for a super chat, chuck your question up. Have a look at the list above. For those of you returning to this stream after, you can have a look at the stream and pull it forward, pull it back, and you'll see your name. There'll be arrows and hands to say who's first, who's next. And that can really aid you moving forward. Otherwise, I do pull the cards. And if you haven't popped up, I just discuss really what is coming through for you and what I directly see. I do have clients today. I've also got updates to do. So we have a busy day. I'll just read as I'm pulling the cards. Yeah. You're going through everything, Leonix. You've been really quiet in the members, girl. Okay, what do we have? Hi. Now, am I just reading what's this way, or do you have a particular question? Oh, you got two things you're dealing with. I don't know why I'm getting it. Feels similar, but not. What have we got here? Okay, so I feel you could be at a crossroad. There's lots of changes, but it's like you could be thinking to do with the situation, Tracy, that it's and I'm not getting this as negative at all. It feels a little bit like Jenga. It feels a little bit like you could initially look at something and go, I'm without a tool, or I'm like everything's been wasted. Are you getting my gist? I'm looking at the 5 of Cups as your crowning energy. You know, and it's almost like, and I literally have done this before. It's almost like I was at the movies. It was the drive-ins, and I was really young. And my parents laughed at me because I'd literally just purchased a thick shake, and it was the whole lot of them had it. And mine dropped, and I started crying. And my mum and dad said to me, "Don't cry over spilt milk." And I don't know what there really was to salvage in that situation. Yeah, I don't know what there really was in that situation to salvage. Okay. But what I'm sensing psychically is the work that you put into your life, the direction you're going, in general, point blank, zero. Nothing is wasted. You're going to be very resourceful. I'm also seeing that where you feel people have not sort of given you the credit for who you are, for what you give, for what you bring. I also do feel it's, do you know why I'm hearing it's their loss, but they're going to regret it? So if you're having to make a hard decision, there is gratitude coming. There is something that is happening that's going in your favor. And I think whatever direction you're going in, they're going to actually really, really appreciate you. That's how they're saying it. You do have faith in the process. You know, you're looking back, you're reconnecting to yourself. You could have been taking a little bit of a minute. And I think really having faith in yourself is it does suck, because sometimes we wouldn't mind someone to come and, you know, cheer us on and say, hey, you know, you're doing a great job. You're really worth it. You're absolutely fantastic, you know, but it's the unsung heroes, so to speak. And that's how it's coming through to me. I don't know why they're making reference to an anniversary coming up. This can be an anniversary of a person passing. It could be their birthday, the day that they passed. An anniversary of a situation also could be to do with a connection. But there is some sort of anniversary that came up, is coming up, and they're making reference to it. I'm hearing the term a return of the past. You could feel, why is it we always get what we want when we don't? You know, it could be you're putting an order out there to universe and you've waited so long for it, and it comes when you're really not looking for it anymore. Sometimes we can actually get quite peeved by that, because I sort of feel you looking in a particular direction and having to make hard choices and really persevering forward. But at the same time, it's almost like these things that maybe you had hoped for, they're going to come full circle, but you're sort of looking at them. You're looking at these directions going, why couldn't it just be appreciated or offered when it was like reciprocal. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like these doors are opening. And I'm hearing the Cup song. It's like a little too late. But again, I don't feel this is going to be impacting you. I feel, if anything, it's people around you having revelations how worthwhile you are, how great you are. I also feel there's a project that you're wanting to complete and you're almost there. This is what they're showing me. It could be a home reno. It could be something to that degree, or something to do with a completion, or how you, it could even be the image they're showing me of how you saw everything going, and it hasn't quite turned about in that way. So it's kind of making you feel that, it's like, yeah, this isn't how I wanted to leave it. One example I could give you is if you were renovating a house and then suddenly everything in your life changed and you had to go and live somewhere else, and it wasn't necessary. It was going to benefit you in the long run, but it's almost like it's bittersweet because you had a plan, you had a way you were taking your life. And that's about the best way I can describe this situation. That is, so it's almost like there's this bitterness. Oh, I had all these plans, and it's like, oh, great, okay. Well, what is now on offer to me is fantastic, but I'm kind of a bit salty at the fact that, okay, well, the plan is not equaling the outcome now. And so it's like you're being asked to choose, but you know what you're choosing, okay? It's almost saying to you that, yes, it would have been beautiful, it would have been lovely, but at least you're not having to waste your time with the circumstance, and you can go pour your energy into a brand new sector. I definitely see more income coming through for you. Definitely. And it can also be that this circumstance can be returned to, but you may not want to. You might be like, it's okay. Priorities have shifted. That's fine. Yeah, you're being very realistic. You're like, okay, this is what spiritually feels correct for me. This is what I need to do. I think if you feel anything is out of sort, you're going to go into hermit mode. You're going to retreat back. You could also be keeping something very, very close to your chest. And I would say that if you are intuitively feeling as though you have to keep something close to your chest, and I wouldn't be surprised if we all start doing this and get a bit paranoid. It's like, I'm not sharing that. That's mine. Trust your instincts, that it could be for a very good reason. If this is keeping information from particular individuals, I feel that you're using that intuitively. It's almost like you're feeling, I don't think I should say anything. It's an appropriate time. I think you're just going to sit on it for a bit, and you're going to try and find the correct words. And if you decide you want to tell anyone anything, but you're just very careful about what you're sharing. But the hermit energy's here. You're like, yeah. It could be almost like you're going to take the carpet out from under people. I think it'll be like, what? The unexpected. It's almost like the art of war. So tactical. So tactical. Okay, do you have a car? UK cold. Oh, okay. Now, is it connected to a employment, or is it like, how do I explain it? Is it yours? Does it come part of a work package or something to that degree? Because there's something changing with the vehicle. That's the first thing. They did make mention of it last time. It wasn't a huge thing. It was like, how do I explain it? It was like maybe something was in the pipeline. It could be getting a new car, doing some work on it. But I do see a change here. I definitely do see a change. So was that something that was on the cards, Tracy? I definitely see money increasing. I do. And this could also, so if it is a car that is coming with a job, I sort of feel where you're going, it's going to provide you with something. But it's almost like, say if you did have a car, but now you're not going to because you're going through a transition, or whatever is going on with that car situation. I feel that you're looking at viability, like pros and cons. I do think you're going to come to a compromise. I don't know what it is, but I think whatever you are moving towards, it's almost like you feel the old situation's cursed. It's like, take it, I don't want it. They also may come back with a counter offer, and it's almost like, could it be to manipulate you? I still feel your intuition's on, girl. But there could, I don't know why I'm getting electric car, and I've been really funky with them at the moment. The more research I've done, which I won't really go into too much detail, but do your research. Do your research on how long, if that was something that you were looking at from a viability, where is the resource to charge the car? What is the cost versus the old school vehicles? How often would you need to replace the engine? What would the payment, break it down, just really break it down and do your investigation. But I do see something to do with a change. I also do feel if there is an upgrade, it's going to be different. It's just going to be totally different. If you have felt a bit cursed with a particular situation, it's definitely changing. And I definitely do feel there is a possibility, something to do with the car. This could be work needing to be done. Now, always be careful during Mercury retrograde. If you are doing any changes with that, try and pick a time that you are doing any work, doing any transition with the vehicle, that it happens outside the window of that. That's all I can say. I hope not. I never go anywhere because I travel too much. I feel ya. But there's definitely something to do with that vehicle going on. Yeah. But it does feel a change. Definitely feel a change. And keep it, just make sure you're locking it. Double check. Yes. It also can be a change in your schedule that is impacting you. Because I travel too much, bless ya. Okay, Marie. I hope that helps, Tracy. So how cold are you? Have you tried, how are your windows, Rachel? You know what I did the other day? We were having, for those of you that know more Fahrenheit, I think it was roughly around 110 Fahrenheit. I was like, hell no. So I've actually used alfoil on the windows, which really does reduce the temperature and actually keeps the thermal energy quite warm inside. Give it a go. You can always take it down and place it behind, if you got blinds or curtains, you can do that. And that actually can completely change the temperature. 3 degrees, so beautiful. Hey, even when windows are fine, if you do insulate them, it really does change it. I have fine windows too, but we in Europe, when it was snowing, we actually put blankets on our windows and it definitely made a change. And it's going to reduce your energy. Yeah. There's cold tips there. Okay, so, and I forgot to lock it in today while in town. Oh, God, Tracy, I feel you. Yeah, especially post-Mercury retrograde, people are transitioning. And for those that are in management, they can find that there's a restructuring. It could be a shift in management, could be a shift in the roles that you do, how you manage things. And between now and the next moon, things are going to kind of shift a bit more. But it can be, from 2023 to 2024, people are kind of positioning into these roles and getting things sorted. So we have Marie, and I did see you further back, and then I went into gas bag mode. How are you doing? Anything that comes up, thank you. Okay. We can look at that. Oof. Why do I feel your energy is going to be really busy? Feels like the Mad Hatter. I'm late for a very important day. It just feels really busy. You do have the 9 of Cups here. I just feel that, it feels busy. This just feels busy to me. The whole read does. Are people coming to you with their problems? Because it sort of feels like it's like I'm physically seeing a tunnel. And it's like you have a goal, you're like, right. It's not destination unknown. You literally know where you're going. And people be fucking with you. It's like I literally get this sort of like, oh, wow, I didn't have much energy. Now I know where I'm going. I'm trying to get myself organized. And it's right when you're making conscious decisions. I just see these side swipes, people coming at you, and you're like, where's this coming from? Why is this happening? Because you're very goal orientated. It's going to pass. Are people testing you? I do feel so. You also could be getting some really nasty text messages coming in. This is a potential, I'd say in the next 6 weeks, if this hasn't happened already. But this feels interruptive. This feels somebody trying to mess with you. Literally block, literally don't answer. Just ignore the situation. I also feel for some reason there is a person of the past, and this can be their partner, their ex. There is somebody that is trying to mess with you. Spiritually, I do think if there's been external influences, or maybe even people putting their 2 cents in, there's an interference here to a degree. You might want to do an aura upgrade, because I almost feel like somebody's stalking your social media. Somebody's looking at you. Could it be you? It could be. Could it go vice versa? It could. Could that energy, however, even if you are doing it through a pure intent, through hunch energy, intuitive energy, it's almost like they're tapping into you. So just be careful with that, because I feel that person is affecting your psyche, your frequency, and it just feels very interruptive. I just see you going through the motion. It almost feels like you're going straight ahead, a pothole, straight ahead, a pothole. You're moving through it, but I literally feel like you're achieving the challenges. They're making reference to last year. There was a little mini one last year. It might not have felt mini. There has been one in January. But they're saying if you proceed forward, things are going to move very quickly, and they are going to go in your favor. I also feel you spiritually could be saying to yourself, I just need to move forward. You are moving forward, so try not to criticize yourself. You definitely are moving forward. It's not spiritually that you're putting your life on hold. You are, in fact, moving forward. I do think when you do spiritually get onto that wavelength, we do have energies that we are psychically connected into. And I particularly feel this could be a twin flame. This is an energy of some description that feels you kind of like liberating yourself and moving yourself forward. And I kind of get this feeling that it sort of feels like it pulls you back as soon as you've decided to move forward. I just get this feeling, whatever this is, you are fiercely moving forward. You're like, right, I'm not going to let it knock me down. I'm moving forward. I'm getting things done. I also feel there could be an element of paperwork that is coming about very shortly. I do feel something also is going to go in your favor. Your outcome card is both a connection and marriage. This can be emerging. This is going to be a happy home, a happy life, a happy connection. I think this is your goal overall, regardless, point blank zero. I do think you're going to attract those things. And so it's a good job, a safe home. And again, if you've been doing anything around the home front, you've been wanting to try and make it feel zen or make it feel you, again, I do think you're going to achieve this, but you definitely have a long-term goal. Are you going to be able to rush this? Maybe. But no matter what, you are not exiting 2024 without achieving these things. Your guides are very adamant that you're going to achieve these things. But it is about setting your course. It is about that Jupiter energy, the faith, the trust, the belief in yourself. that these things you can attract into your world, and you are going to attract them. This could also be two paths, my love. There are two paths, not one is wrong. Okay? But you can be feeling, no, I've either got to go left or right, and it's just keep moving forward. The path will show itself to you. That is correct, but you definitely are going to have two options. I hope that helps. Let's shuffle the deck, and we will go on to Cosmic Journey. Still awake, Giggle? God, it's getting warm in here. What temperature are you getting to today? Goodness me. Okay. We got two. Oh, no, vice versa. Okay. That don't make sense. That don't make sense. I don't know. We'll just leave it. Still awake. I think they are. So happy for this message. It helped me a lot. I'm glad, doll. Okay, Cosmic Journey. Cosmic Journey is probably asleep. Yeah. No Cosmic Journey today. They're probably in the members hub chatting. No. Let's see. Probably. Okay, what do we have? Oh, God. Jill. Oh, gosh. Okay, Cosmic Journey, you got something going on here. You're resisting temptation. It could be because of the moon. There could be some old triggers coming up. You could be having some nightmares. But it is a resistance of temptation. It is the Devil card in reverse. Could you be being careful at the moment? You could be. But for some reason, I almost feel you're protecting yourself. This could be protecting your vibe. This could be feeling as though you're not trusting something as much. But you're wanting to look at the devil in the detail. You're also wanting to break some patterns. I do see you wanting to shift some nutritional situations in your life as well. But the moon, I do feel, can be affecting you. And it's strange. You might have a Cancer placement in your chart somewhere. Yeah, it could be the Leo energy. But again, I just feel there's something. Look to where your fourth house is, especially with home-based businesses and things to that degree. I don't know why I get it. It's almost like you could have an ancestor on the other side that's coming through to you in your dream state, trying to give you messages, trying to give you some healing and closure. I feel you have empathy for a circumstance. This can be your path at the moment with romantic interest. You could be looking at them and understanding and have empathy because you have walked a mile in their shoes. You just wish they would just work it out. But you feel every time you're close to that, it's almost like this person retreats back. I do feel in general you understand the method to the madness. Something to do with the karmic is coming up here. Yeah. There's something that's not being told to you, love, but I think this is more your instincts. It's like something's off, something's funny. There could be like a birthday and anniversary or something to do with that around that karmic individual. But there's some silence here. Oh, goodness. Something's stagnated. You're trying to not jump the gun. It's almost like things were moving, but something shifted. Something spiritually has gone backwards, but it is to help both parties go forwards. Any resistance, and I think this is to do with karmic individuals, tribal individuals in life that are going through a spiritual change in your world and TFs. What I get is this reluctance is going to be exposed. And I don't think it's anything bad. I'm really not feeling anything bad. But I do think something's going to come out in the open here. And it could be that this person becomes aware of the flaw in the trigger, the reason why they're doing things. They are very, very traditional. They do have integrity and respect, but they're almost calling themselves out with the circumstance. There is, to a degree, this feels like it's to do with the person's childhood. Why do I feel it's going quiet? Yeah, something feels different. Feels very different. Do I feel you're different? I do. But it's like something shifts. This could also be a conversation that opens up. I'm hearing opening up a can of worms. They're also referencing questions you've asked them before, and they've actually asked themselves these very same questions. So, if you were wondering, does this person even think back to the conversations that we have? I do feel yes. They know they can't live in two worlds. They don't want you to be a friend. They do want you to be, a connection. I just get spying. Somebody's spying here, though. Yeah, be careful. Be very careful. I don't think you have anything to worry about. Let me put it this way. I literally do feel there is something going down on their side of the fence. You could be hearing secondary of this. It does feel gossip. Could the karmic be very critical at the moment towards TF? Yes. Do I think there can be some shifts in your patterns in your own personal life going on, especially linking to family and friends? I do. But you're keeping your whole map and your plan very, very private. I do think you're, at a drop of a hat, you're happy to make that a decision. But I feel you're still getting your foundation ready no matter what. I just feel this year you're going to be more vocal about things. But only if somebody is pushing you. And this somebody doesn't have to be a romantic partnership. I feel if people are having unhealthy boundaries with you, you're about to lay the law down. And I do think this is going to go in your favor. I would be really careful around the full moon. You can feel slightly triggered. But other than that, that's what's come through. You're lagging. Are you? Have we got the list wrong? Where did I put my phone? I did bring it in. There. Pretty sure I did put her on the list. Okay. Dawn is next on the list. Cosmic Journey, Dawn, then Char. So Dawn's next. Thank you, Giggle. Did I not put that in there? Who bloody knows? It's Sunday. Hey, Dawn. How you doing, girl? How's that ninth house treating you? Are you having fun with it? Your little guru, you? Oh, I'm telling you, my granddaughter this morning, she said is it her second word? I don't think it's her second word. I think it's her third word. So the first one, I believe it's mum, even though my daughter says Baba, but yeah, that's more Turkish. And she don't speak Turkish. The second one I think was mama. Nana, she says Nana, but that's because I've been around her for a few weeks. And then this morning she says bath. So I called my daughter and I said, come listen to this, the little Gemini Taurus cusp. And she's sitting there and she's like, bath. I was like, this is hilarious. She's like, yeah, man, bath. So that's my grandbaby. Oh, heck. Somebody's been watching you, Dawn, and they're a little bit jelly. They're a little bit jealous. It's almost like off to sleep. Good night, sweet. Oh, gosh, get better. Take care. Keep warm. Okay, so there is change happening in life. There could be some dramas, I do think, happening in TF's life. You overall, you are good. You are good. They're also making reference to if there was a person in your family that you had a falling out with, there is a kind of a fence being repaired. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Hi, Brooke. Yeah, so spiritually there is a circumstance. I do get that on TF's side. I do think they're having issues with family. I also do get a feeling that there is a shift in your environment, a change in your environment. There can be people of the past coming back to you. This is weird. It's almost like it's acting like a Venus retrograde for you, and you're like, is this Venus retrograde? But spiritually, it feels as though it's changing. So it's like people from the past are going to come back. They're going to want to connect to you. And you're like, where are all these people coming from? This can be people that are wanting, well, it's showing it's coming. So this is what spiritually is coming up. I can say TF can be having dramas around home environment. This also could be like a mother energy, in-law energy, shadow work relating to such. I would say circumstances to do with your tribe, ironing out the creases, but for some reason people have the green eye on you, like you actually have a happy parenting energy, it's a person's perception. Even if you on the inside go, we just are a stock standard family, this is just how things are. It's a perception that they're having looking in at the circumstance. You also could be looking at a connection of the past and going, it's just staying there. And it could be your opinion. It's almost like you're looking at it and going, look, they're just a player. They're just in the past. Yes, chivalry is dead. No, this person can just stay where they are. So you're going to have moments of being very accepting and very centered, and other times just really looking at it like, no, that is so to the left. Oh, yes, he's having issues with his mum. There you go. Yeah, because it was almost like they do looking at your life. And sometimes it can be the things that we take for granted that are just like, they're just there. They just are what they are. Other people can have a very different perspective. It's because of this lack energy of maybe what they didn't get that we do. So there's a bit of the green-eyed monster going on. You're like, but they just keep taking the crap. That mother energy is coming up, but I don't know why they're coming up in your bloody read. Is it because maybe TF is asking you to do something? Is there like a feeling that you're supposed to guide this individual in some shape or form? Or are they just coming to you to dump the trash? I don't know. I don't know, Dawn. I don't know why I do get grandparent energy coming up. This could be a family member that is having children, considering having children. Maybe even getting engaged. There's something to do with that. Yeah, they've been a bit like looking at it, feeling like they're really turning in. There's lots changing. They're actually feeling, why can't I cop a break? Why do I have so much crap on my plate? They're a bit peeved. They're not seeing eye to eye with that individual at home. Like, they do care about, this can be the mother energy. They do care about the mother as per se. But sometimes they do feel a little bit burdened. It's like, oh God, I can't. How do I do everything? What do I do now? What do I do now if I want to move forward? What am I going to do with mum? There's some critique here. That they're also less attached to finances at the moment. They are concerned about their parent. They are concerned about how they would care for things, how they do things. If they were to leave this circumstance, where would they go? What would they do? At times, they do feel very critical towards themselves as a masculine energy. But there is a big shake-up here. There is going to be a big shift. I'm also being shown that the karmic is very jealous. This could be because this person starts really turning in towards you and wanting to talk. There is temptation energy here. And although you could be looking at this as completely innocent, I do feel an external party here is going to start getting quite jealous. Even if everything is above board. I also see if you're running a business or doing something in that area, I do spiritually feel as though you're going to find a new way to generate a secondary income. But it is going to be a change of plans with that. I'm hearing the term cutting the middleman out and looking outside the box. Yeah. Overall, there's chemistry here. This individual, I definitely feel, does have emotional feelings towards you. God, your gods are funny. I'm hearing the term man cannot live on bread alone. I think they've had a bit of a dry spell and they're a bit dirty about that. But they also feel that the karmic doesn't really understand them in their life. So the temptation energy is here for them towards you. I think your life overall is going to continue in a smooth fashion. I don't think there's going to be I don't feel danger as per se. How do I explain it? So I just feel because you're being very intentional, very present. The other person is looking in and going, I want to be like Mike. That's what I want. So it's almost like it's motivating them to want to, address some of these more difficult energies. I don't feel anger there with you. I do feel chemistry. They're in the last pants energy, my dear. Okay, we have Char. I'm telling you, I'm baking in this room. It's horrible. I'll have to open it after just to cool the room down. Yes. So, Char, what would you like to know? Yeah, we had 107.6 yesterday Fahrenheit. Oh, it was horrible. 107.6, yeah. We do at times, it's been a while, we have got up to 120.2 Fahrenheit over here, and probably this year it could get above. And that's full on. That's like, ugh. Just curious about Lafayette. Okay, let's take a look. I pulled my back out yesterday. I think it happened about a week ago. I think it was a Tuesday. I was like, it'll be okay. Just looking at the dates. 4, 5, 6. Ooh. Interesting. 1, 2, 3. Yep, information coming through the grapevine. Unfinished business. Message in a bottle, I'm hearing. Outcome card, please. Okay. You could be... Now, I'm seeing something to do with social media. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are going through this at the moment. Either you are looking in or there is another looking in on you. And it's like, I'm hearing the term like trying to look for something, needing more information, trying to find more information. A lot of the conflict... I do feel you may have had a lot of conflict last year, and it doesn't have to be that everything turned pear-shaped. It just, I feel your intention for 2024 is that you really do want something different. You don't want to relive the pattern of last year, even though there are some key components to the astrology that are similar, which means we could have similar outcomes to a degree. There are shifts with others, so it feels spiritually intuitive that you are not wanting to recreate the same drama. When it does come to romantic partnerships, potentially if there were patterns, maybe too much tolerance in particular areas, I feel you very intentionally wanting to go into a romantic connection with a changed attitude, because what you are really wanting to avoid is heartache. They're making reference to a change in appearance. You might have been thinking about this last year. Wanting to change appearance. That's all I heard. I definitely can see a hair transition this year. It's funky. It does feel shorter for some reason. Yeah, but there is a resistance of temptation here. You're like, You spiritually also, yeah, you just, I really feel as though you're trying to move forward. I do feel some information through the grapevine can be coming through, or it can be something directly that you observe. My guides are saying, please trust that this person will approach you. It is testing your faith at this point in time. I don't know why I do get this individual we're tuning into. There's something going on with their family. This feels like a mother or father energy. I do feel one of them is a bit unwell. I also feel if you knew this person maybe that was married and they have moved through a divorce, it's sort of like the notion that you're looking at is, okay, how much time will this person need after a separation? You also do want them to be very sure. Okay, thanks, Shazza. What am I saying here? This can be a few things. It can be where you're directly looking at it going, look, how I was treated was really poorly. I don't think it's appropriate. What would the risk and the likelihood be if I go back into this circumstance? Is the same going to repeat? Is the behavior acceptable? Can it be forgiven after all this time has gone past? I do feel a very close bond with family. Now, what reference are they making here? That doesn't mean to say with you with this love interest that you automatically got on really well with the family. You particularly could be having an experience where you're looking at it thinking, but did the karmic? I do think you're very intentional about what you do want. And the outcome card is a relationship. It is a partnership. There could be some offers coming, but I also do feel a promise is going to be fulfilled. But you do need to trust that this person can communicate. And I think it's almost like you have really been forcing yourself to say this person has a phone, this person has Facebook, this person can actually reach out. They are able to reach out. It is key for us to be open so that person can approach us. You do have two paths here. You definitely will eventuate into a relationship. But at the moment, spiritually, I do see you healing and wondering, are they actually single? How much time would they need to have? Now, gossip is Hieros your crowning energy. This could mean that somebody is spying in on you. You are trying to find that information out yourself with the tools that you have, or somebody is spying on you. I definitely do feel gossip coming through, though. But your outcome card, like I said, is positive. There is a partnership. I also feel to do with hobby or career, there could be a transition happening there for you also. Nothing terrible. It's good. I can't see one bad card. Nope. Not even the way they're playing out. So, maybe frustration? Yeah. Okay, who do we have next? Research clue. I hope that helps, sweet. You could feel a bit down, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, it could be like, being, thanks, universe. Been feeling strange this week. Anything that comes up. If you do notice, everyone's just saying whatever comes up. Even though deep down you're like, do I ask? Do I ask? Yeah, the devil energy and the Seven of Wands. Devil energy keeps coming up. All that bloody Capricorn energy. I know no issues against Capricorns. My grandmother was Cappy. Scorpio. She had Scorpio in the chart and she had Capricorn placements. So you got the Devil card and you have the Seven of Wands. You're trying to have courage. You're like, I'm trying to move forward. But there could be something that you're needing to look at. Spiritually, you may be feeling as though everything is quite heavy. You also could feel that, untrusting towards things. I definitely do see a very strong chemistry. I also feel to a degree, you could feel very, this is the only term really that's coming up, is chastised. Held to a contract, held to a bargain, held to an agreement. Also interferences and influences like the rules of how you have to navigate this. I feel you want to go back and review those. Could be something that is on paper. So you can have this attitude that it's an all or nothing situation. Everyone secretly, what's that? Yeah. Because it's like, yeah, just whatever comes up. And I'm like, could you honestly spiritually get to, in a spiritual path, that up? 100%, it's quite part of it. It's quite part of it. Okay, so research clue. I see you in two ways. I do see you looking at contracts. You could be looking at debt. You could be looking at the devil in the detail. And this sometimes is easier to look at when you're rested, okay? When you're rested. There is a door you're going to be moving through. This can be a sense of action, a sense of courage to persevere forward. I do feel you have been very patient for things to iron out, the creases to iron out, but you have had to be honest with yourself with the amount of sacrifices that you are making to achieve those things. I do feel it's like you earned it, but I definitely feel as though you're quite tired from it. You're tired of having to sacrifice and you feel you're trying to balance so much. Yeah, you could feel very overwhelmed from this. Oh, you could have some old emotions kind of crop up. There could be, well, I'm on public, not today. I'll be 10:15. Leave the door open and just take her in the living room. I'm melting. Bye, bath. Yeah, I'm dying. Shanice is like, it's really hot in here. This isn't a tan. This is burning up. Okay, so what do we have? Oh, this is quite funny. It's like a blowjob. Not your reading. That door, I literally just feel instantly cool. Can you see the glow? Yeah, no, I'm not 20. I'm 47. Okay, what do we got? There's a chemistry here. It's almost like if this is a TF, if this is somebody that is spiritually connected to you, when you detach, all of a sudden it can come up real quick, and it's almost like they're pulling you back, and all these old emotions come flooding back to you. This person has a lot of chemistry. I also feel you don't want to shortchange yourself and go back into a cliche relationship with the white picket fence, in a photograph we look great. We don't work so great in a functionality setting. Am I also feeling an ex is going to become quite attracted to you all of a sudden? Yes, I do. It could be a revisit to it, especially if you're holding this embodiment, especially after a breakup. Sometimes it can be like, oh, if we'd stayed together, how would that have been? The answer to you is going to be coming, so be careful what you put out to universe because they give you the examples and it can delay the destination you were destined for. There is a wrap up, so to speak, but there is a shift in your world. It can be a new beginning. You have learned a lot. This person actually, in a spiritual sense, is learning quite a bit. I do see transition for you. I do feel if you're making any decisions in the next few weeks to be grounded when making them. Out of the veins of babes, I heard. And it can be that a child, children, there can be some messengers coming through. I almost see in a home environment it shifting about. This can be like bedrooms being shifted, individuals in the house being shifted around, restructuring of it to make it more functional. I also feel there is an energy of somebody moving out. Yeah. Somebody moving out. Now, how that lands, this could be twin, this could be tribe, this could be DNA. Could they be moving in? Yes, but it's one person. Whoever this is, it's one individual. Not several, one. I do feel a karmic individual does have a new partner. They're also saying, to do with your career, you're going to get rewarded. That to look at this situation as a brand new circumstance, this can be your purpose or your career. But I feel whatever you're investing in now, treat it like it's a brand new slate, because they are saying on this instant, you are going to be rewarded for it. And I do think it's going to go in your favor. Review your contracts, but definitely I do feel from a negotiating standpoint and from a skill set, it does look as though you are going to achieve your goals there. And I do think you will be rewarded and appreciated. Okay, who do we have? We have Shasta. And then I have a cup of tea break before I come back again. Shasta and Stella. I hope so, sweet. Okay, Shasta. Oh, you could be quite tired at the moment. You're going to be quite busy. Productive and goal-orientated. I feel this happy energy that's going to come through for you. This is coming. If you're not already in this, I'd be surprised. But if you aren't, this is on its way, because it feels very, it's almost like if I was to question my intuitive energy, it's almost like, yeah, go on, go try. So it's like no matter what they are showing me is you are going to get into a very happy vibration. It's like the old you is coming back. And I think you're really going to enjoy that feeling. You could need to have a bit of a rest. There is something to do with the home environment where you're going to be shifting. I do feel a shift in that dynamic. Now, when I see the Emperor in the past position, this can be the way my guides have been working lately is if I'm seeing a romantic situational shift in the past, I'm seeing it. Yes, it could be that something has moved out, that you have stepped back from a circumstance, for instance, or it is something that they're really screaming at me about is the fact that you intuitively feel blessings from romantic connections are in the past. That can be pertaining to a particular individual, especially because in this instance, it is an Emperor. You could feel that they've gone backwards in their life. Like they haven't progressed. It's like failure to launch. That's how it's coming through. And I don't feel you feel hate or, it's like, it is what it is. A little bit disillusioned. But you also could be basing and casting this assumption due to no communication or very little information. Assumptions. I definitely do see fatigue here. I honestly had to reconnect my camera, my audio, recreate the stand for the technology today. It was like, oh, work with me. Right when I was going to come early. Thanks, Giggle. Oh, look, if this person's being stubborn, they are going to get over it. I do think they're going to get over it. I also feel that they are going to be more assertive, and I feel once they know what they want, they're going to move ahead. I do see you coming up as the High Priestess, not wanting to carry baggage, not wanting to have drama, but I do think you're moving away from particular individuals. You also may feel if this person was to go back into another karmic relationship, I get this feeling it's almost like your intuitive energy is like, I just wouldn't have that. That to you would be like, I've been perfectly clear what I was wanting, what I was hoping. There is a wedding here, though. I don't know why I see a lot of the spiritual work that's been happening at the moment by the year's end is to do with spiritual bindings, like going into marriages, going into connections, being in passionate connections, being in healthy connections in an equal rights way. I do see this coming through for your read. At the moment, if you haven't had communication, what they are signifying is there's something spiritually going on with this person. They are making reference to the person wanting to communicate with you. You could be looking at it from a total different angle. This could be, look, I need to move forward. I need to let this behind. If I want to have an opportunity, I need to be moving forward to have that opportunity. And I think the opportunity tends to just find you. So you are going through a spiritual tune-in. I do get some happy moments coming ahead. I do feel there's a potential that, yes, you spiritually could end up with a person and have that happiness, that connection. This also can be the romantic individual that you were tuning into prior to your read. There is something to do with the child subject and a parent energy. I definitely see more money coming through for you. They're also saying guard your valuables. I don't know why I keep getting that, but guard your valuables. I was going to say guard your vegetables. I'm losing my marbles. So guard your valuables, especially with security. Be security conscious at this point between now and mid-Feb. Last but not least, Stella. Nothing bad's there, Shasta. Yeah. It's like a face-off, really. Clear the energy. Thank you. Okay. I tell you, that feels like an interrogation like that. Okay, so the next, as I mentioned, we have Stella up. Guard your marbles. No joke, Giggle. I totally agree. So the next session is next week. It is going to be held via our YouTube membership. When you select the membership, it's one tier level. It's Yildiz Readings VIP. So look for the VIP tier level. It is the cheapest tier level. The other one will be deleted, and there's going to be one tier level. Webinars, blogs, live chats, super chats in the dark, so you can ask those burning questions. Thanks, Stella. Pre-release content, ad-free now. And it's all one set price, and the chat rooms and the coaching. So if you do want to come along to that, and you, instead of booking a whole private reading, even if you just came in for the month, it's $29, pay your super chat, away we go. Stella. Last but not least, and then we shall go in later and we will be doing the weekly energy check-in for the twin flames, which I'll try and get to you guys earlier today. I did it, yes, last week I did it in the evening. I'll try and get it done before the evening. Oof, okay, you're going to have a bit more freedom. I don't know why I get Lady Luck with you. I do feel Stella. It's almost like you're feeling as though you could have a lottery win. That's how it's feeling. I just feel you've got the gift at the moment, and I feel use that gift wisely, because I feel some Lady Luck and gifts of the past coming back. If anyone is owing you a favour, I do think it's been brought back to you. I also feel there is a person here that is being very nostalgic about you, and they are the type that when they are open, they really do wear their heart on their kind of sleeve. You could be perceiving this individual now as being more gentle than what they used to be before, whomever this individual is, but you're definitely seeing that there is a shift in this individual. There could be a difficult situation that you are observing a person go through, and you can feel, hey, this is really messy. This is very unjust. This is unfair. I do feel this person is going to secure things and place things where they need to be. I do feel so. I also feel soulmate energy here. Again, transitions with employment, changes in that area. If there has been an injustice, if there's been a new contract of some description, I'm seeing to make sure that you do read the paperwork, but I do feel there's going to be a wrap-up soon. I do think all this hard work that's been put into things, wow, it's almost like, oh, we didn't have a lot to do last year. Let's add to it. Let's amplify it. I think the key to 2024 is less is more, but there is a massive goal coming your way. And I feel even at a foundation level, if we lay the steps and the pavements, I just really get very strongly that you're going to be able to gain success in your hopes and dreams and aspirations, and that's collectively. But I see all of a sudden you could be very ambitious with something that you want to do, very creative. It could be opening a restaurant. It might be, moving into art and photography. That then turns into a business. It's like something that's a hobby ends up turning into a business. I also do feel a new vehicle this year for you. This could be for the family. It could be for you. I definitely feel a lot of travels on the agenda. This could feel like short trips, but they're long, if you know what I mean. So it could be flight. It could be flight. The opposite is if you're driving, it's like long drives, but lots of them, or short trips back and forward. Lots of planning. I'm seeing you pick somebody up at the airport. There's somebody coming. Karmic. I want to change jobs. I do see that as a potential. You do have the movement there. The other thing I also can say from a TF journey point of view, what I am seeing here in the cards, your perception of this individual is they're too traditional. They're never going to leave the karmic. I feel many times when we do have that come up, it is showing sort of like an attachment to circumstances we have. Not so much an attachment. That's probably the wrong word. The energy is joint. So for many times when we are saying, hey, I empathize, I understand, it could be, hey, the masculine or the feminine, whoever is in the, the karmic relationship, well, it could be kids, family, house, payment. So we logicalize things, and it spiritually does block things. They're calling you out to a degree. They're actually saying, just because you feel these things kind of lock us into circumstances, the shadow energy of what they're referencing is because you are taking on the attitude because you feel that's what's going to keep you safe. You are satisfied with your life. You are happy with your life, but you not necessarily want to pull the bin just on a whim. You want evidence. Now, the thing is, when you ask universe for evidence, they are going to give it to you. And it doesn't mean that the tower moment for you with those choices are going to be any easier. It just gives you a bit more of a green flag notion of we're good to go. So they're asking you to sit with that for a little bit, because what would you do in the instant? It's sort of saying, in one breath, you kind of like, no, that wouldn't be rational. My age, why would I do that? But on the other, you're sort of thinking to yourself, no, I don't actually ever see them doing that. So what am I looking at here? I think it's going to take you by surprise. That's how it's really being shown to me. Definitely see a change of car. There is something to do with contracts. Now, if this is the soulmate energy in their contract and that hasn't kind of balanced out, there is some more balancing I am seeing with that individual and employment. Definitely see a contract associated to that. I don't know why I do get whatever job they end up in, it could be their last job. That particularly can be because they're going to earn a lot in a very short space of time and they want to go into retirement. I just feel they're really fed up at this stage. And I never thought I would actually psychically tune into that. But I do get that whatever they're going to do, it's going to be a lot of energy poured out, and that's so they physically can have the lifestyle that they're wanting both to have and to provide. but it doesn't look bad, Stella. Honestly, it's looking pretty positive. So I hope that helps. I do see a person being collected from the airport. This can be a surprise visit. I also sense a phone call coming through for you from the karmic. I will love you all and leave you. If you do want to join a YouTube membership, come through. There is an intro video on the main page. We do have the In the Dark super chats. For those of you that have a private question, yes, we do host bookings via the website. During the week, Monday to Friday, we have the evening sessions open only, Greens Mention time. And over the weekend, we do have AM sessions as well as on a Sunday, an evening one. If you can't afford that, by joining the members, go to the main page on YouTube, $29, you get everything. You then pay your super chat, and it is a lot cheaper than a full-blown reading. Don't forget to look at the masculine, feminine, and the karmic. We will be doing the joint connection shortly. Stay tuned, and I'll see you on the other side.